Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special Halloween reading for the collective. Collective, I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Collective, I'm not the biggest fan of Halloween. In fact, I've never liked Halloween. It's always been my least favorite holiday, at least in the United States. And I know that it has, pagan traditions and it's steeped in tradition. The veil is very thin at this time of year, the veil between worlds, that we can connect with spirits at this time. But my entire life, I've never liked it. I didn't like the idea of dressing up. I didn't like the idea of being scared. I didn't like the idea of pretending. All those things are still true. But it's ironic, right? How life kind of deals you some cards. I read tarot now. I'm slightly witchy. I'm surrounded by crystals. I believe in all the, it's just funny, so I just like, okay, maybe it's time to embrace the thing that you've been a little hesitant about for the past 40 years. So collective, I hope that you're doing well. Please keep yourselves safe if you go out partying for Halloween. And if you dress up, make it a good one. Win those Halloween costume contests. We're going to be doing a reading today with the Rider-Waite Tarot, because when people think tarot, this is what they want to see sometimes, right? And we're going to be doing some pulls, several pulls actually, from the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. My ear is ringing. It's not a harsh high pitch, but it's pretty consistent ear ringing right now. I think Spirit is kind of, well, they're not laughing at me, but a little laughing at me, because when I tell you I don't like Halloween, I'm not exaggerating about that in any way. But I thought, let's just have some fun. So I'm actually going to pull 3 cards from this deck and 3 cards of tarot to just get a, since we're talking about the veil between worlds thinning, what your spirit guides want you to know at this time, because it can be a vulnerable time, if you're not careful. Because when a door opens, people can come in and out, right? Just keep that in mind. Especially if you're manifesting or you're casting spells. Just protect your energy, protect yourself. So 3 cards for the collective, please, Spirit. Okay, 4 cards came out. I'm going to take 4, and then I'm going to pull 4 for the tarot. Okay, so let's pull the tarot now. Okay, 4 cards just popped out. All of these decks have been pre-shuffled. Okay, so we're going to do past, present, future, and advice from Spirit. That's going to stay the same. But what is it that the messages that Spirit wants to give you at this time of vulnerability, with the veil between worlds at its thinnest? Past energy. The word is Myrmidon, and above that is discipline. Sorry, the card itself is very, very bright in this corner, so it's supposed to be that way. But we can see here, these guys look a little like soldiers. They look very, very powerful. The number is 30, which reduces to a 3, which is the Empress card in the Major Arcana. The Empress is someone who, divine feminine, which is strange. A nice dichotomy between the divine feminine and divine masculine. I mean, these gents are very, very masculine in their appearance. So there's kind of an interesting dichotomy there, because if I think of the Empress energy, She's the great attractor. She's the great mother, Mother Earth. She's the receptacle. She's the fertile one, fertile with ideas. And she's true divine feminine. She has the power of all 4 queens of the tarot, right? And I think of her when I reduce that to a 3, that number 30. But to see this energy, this reminds me of like super mom energy. We don't have to be talking about a woman, but in the past, your divine feminine energy, whatever you subscribe to, gender or identity wise, we're talking about energy now, that you had to call upon this divine masculine energy in a way to even out or level out something that you were trying to attract towards you. And the word discipline is very interesting here because you may have had to rein some things in. I'm hearing finances, especially, like maybe you had to put yourself on a budget. You were gearing up to have a big purchase, and you're putting yourself on a budget because you really wanted to up level in some way. So for example, you know, I knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to start this YouTube channel eventually, but the phone that I had previous to the nice one that I have now was very old, several years, because I don't get the newfangled pieces of technology the minute they come out. And so I had to save, you know, these phones can be expensive, but I really knew that ultimately, it hurt my wallet, but at the same time, it's an investment that I'm making in myself. And that's where the sentiment of discipline comes from, that you're making an investment in yourself. You're buckling down, you're minding, you know, your budget, you're minding your diet, you're minding your behavior, your schedule, your appearance, whatever this could be. And, you know, there's strength here, but there's also calm. There's control in their expressions. I find this area very, very odd. Like this, like kind of washed out section of the image. We can see here, maybe it's hard to tell, but these are kind of like blown out sparks. It's almost like lensing. What is that called? It's kind of like a refraction. It's like an optical illusion or an optical byproduct. When you have a camera and light hits it in a certain way, it might refract these images. And so it's almost like, what could be causing this, right? Obviously we're looking from the viewer's point of view. Just stick with me, there's something to it. It's almost like you're shining the light on something, or you did in the past energy. You shined a light on something, and then the message became dispersed, right? With the Queen of Wands clarifying this, it could have made you feel a little off kilter. It could have made you feel a little like you weren't in your A game, which is why you then had to step it up a little bit, right? The Queen of Wands in the upright, which is a fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, she's very attractive, and not just in her looks, but in her personality. There's like charisma to this energy. And when we are feeling in a reverse Queen of Wands, it's like we don't feel that we have that magnetism that can draw people in, that maybe we feel a little insecure, a little upset, a little angry. And so therefore we have to do something about it, right? And I see that's what you did in the past energy. Just like, okay, so I'm gonna don this. You know, it's really funny. All morning, that stupid, it's not a stupid song, but it's just so overplayed. The song by Sia. I think the song is called Unstoppable. I'm not really sure what it's called. And I think one of the lines is, I'll put my armor on and show you who I am. Don't quote me on that, I don't know. But I mean, I know enough that, like, I hear it in reels and I hear it, but it was constantly playing over and over and over in my mind today. And here it is, showing off why Spirit was bringing it to me, right? To come to this very moment for you. I put my armor on and I'll show you who I am or what I'm made of, or, you know, it's not so much as a protection from something, but rather a forcefulness as to knowing that as you up level yourself, because I see this like the Colosseum, it's like ready for battle, but like it's like there's levels to it. So I see this as an up leveling. As you up level yourself, there's gonna be people that are detractors. And I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't really believe that, I guess, until I started to up level. Because some people are happy for you and some people don't like it. And fortunately, I don't have that many people in my life that are, although I don't know, right? But there are some people that just don't want you to succeed out there. There are really people like that. And you have an awareness of this. And so you're protecting yourself, because come hell or high water, you're going to up level. You will succeed. This is your determination. This is your discipline. I'm going to pull a clarifier because I kind of want to know. I feel like this is a work situation, but I kind of want to know what exactly Spirit is. Okay, Hermit. This is Virgo energy in the major arcana. The Hermit talks about a dark night of the soul and isolating ourselves out from society so that we can have a spiritual reckoning, a spiritual awakening, and go through a process of healing. See, in that lantern there is the energy of the star from the major arcana. Star is all about wish fulfillment and healing, right? So I feel this energy as a kind of regrouping on your part. You're just like, okay, whatever I was doing before, it's not quite working out for me. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to step back. I'm going to pull myself together. I'm going to come up with a game plan, and then I'm going to execute that plan. It's going to be for my best and highest good. Harm to none. And that's really important. Harm to none. Harm to none. One more clarifier. This is interesting. There's a return. This is the 8 of Cups in the reverse. You are returning to something that I just heard that you had once forsaken. Ooh, what does that mean? Did you cut somebody out? Or did you... It's going to be you like returning home, or returning back to family. You know, now it's interesting because it's like, if this is you, this is your entourage, but your entourage could also be your spirit guides. Okay, they just gave it to me. So it's like, after you have your spiritual awakening, after a person has their spiritual awakening, then they get turned on to the ideas of a spirit team. Like, you have spirit guides all around you, you have angels, and, you know, whatever it is that you call them. But entities, it could be, you know, passed away loved ones, passed away animals, I have all that around me. I have a dragon around me. It's crazy. Or so I've been told, but you know what? Why I'm going to embrace it. I need all the help I can get, right? But once you have that spiritual awakening and you realize that you're not alone in this universe, you may be in a temporary state of aloneness on earth, but in the spiritual realm, right? You are not alone. You have backup. You truly do. And now they're showing themselves, right? It's almost like, remember at the beginning of this reading, I said, we're talking about the vulnerability and the veil between worlds. It's almost like this is representing the veil energy. And here they are kind of swooping in. And when you make your return towards whatever or whomever, you've up-leveled now, and that up-leveling involves a spiritual army. Yes, that's pretty amazing. See how his hands are like this, ready to receive, ready to receive. It's not aggressive in any way. It's open, even though there's, you know, very prominent like armor here. It's a very open stance, open towards spirit, open towards abundance, open towards manifestation, open towards source energy, right? Maybe this is simply a return to source energy and the oneness of the universal consciousness, right? Far, far beyond the limitations of personality traits in the real world, right? Like, oh, he or she doesn't like me, or I didn't get the job that I wanted. And yeah, those things are meaningful because we're here to have a human existence. So we're having human experiences and we can get disappointed for sure. But it's almost like Spirit is saying that, like, there's an up-leveling happening and it's inside of you. And when you return, you're going to come with your spirit army behind you, backing you up, supporting you. Here they are. They've shown themselves. In the present energy, Medusa, injustice, and the number is 43, which reduces to a 7, which is the Chariot card in the major arcana. The Chariot card talks about a mastery, another kind of discipline, mastery over the self, the yin and the yang, the lightness and the shadow. And this is the thing about Medusa. It's like, she for sure gets a bad rap because you looked at her and she turned men to stone or something like that. I mean, if we were to kind of, and I'm sure there is fiction regarding this, it's like tell the story from Medusa's point of view, because I believe she was cursed, right? Tell the story from Medusa's point of view, and how do things change, you know? Remember when I said that as soon as you up level, there are some people that, you know, may not want to see you rise. Okay, because this is the energy that I feel as though you are giving out right now. And some people may feel that to be a threat. All these serpents here, they just think that your light is a threat to them. When you're just in this energy, Page of Wands, you know, but I'm just a little page. I just want to make friends and like show everybody that, like, I mean no harm. I'm just here to spread the love. The word is injustice, which I think is really interesting, you know, because it also, I mean, well, it talks about exactly what I just said, which was the Medusa's injustice. But there could be some themes in your life right now where things don't feel fair in the present moment. They don't feel fair. And the kind of enlightened part of you may be having a tough time. You know, sometimes it can be hard when you call yourself a spiritual person and then you have a very, very petty human reaction to something, which happens to me on the daily, maybe on the bi-hourly, that I will have just a completely triggered, petty, passive-aggressive, pouty reaction to something. And here I am supposed to be this enlightened, or I'd like to think that I am, but then, something comes out. The serpent comes out and it bites, right? It bites, and how does it bite? It's a sarcastic comment. It's a curt response. It's a neglect or an ignoring of something. It's not nice. And it's, of course, misunderstood, right? Because these things arise from fear. So Spirit is really kind of drawing your attention to that right now, to understand, to be very cognizant in the moment that it's happening. So let me give you an example. Let's say you got a promotion at work. Like, you've worked your butt off for this promotion and you're really proud of yourself and you're just excited, right? Who wouldn't be excited about getting a promotion? Especially if like they gave their blood, sweat, and tears and really earned it. 9 times out of 10, the people around you who worked alongside you, who watched you toil and labor, blood, sweat, and tears, they'll be so happy for you, right? They want you to level up. There's always that one person that's like, why did you deserve it, not me? And so I see a scenario like that. Take it as it resonates, apply it to whatever situation, but whatever you were thinking of in that moment when I started, that's the story for you. That there's that one person, that one detractor that will say, oh, wow, well, good luck, because that seems like a really hard job. That's not a compliment. That's, backhanded compliment, but it's just negativity, right? And so there could be this sense of injustice on your part that, like, you feel as though, here I am just trying to not just up-level myself, but to step forward and to put myself out there. Okay, card fell on the floor. You see what happens? Now, it's amazing, right? Because what did I say here? Number 30 reduces to a 3. The Empress. Okay, there are no coincidences when I read tarot. Spirit shows you the exact cards that you're supposed to see. This scenario, or whatever scenario, and this injustice that you may be feeling, let that feeling go and allow the current and the river of abundance to flow towards you, Empress. Male or female does not apply to gender. It's just divine feminine energy. She is my favorite card in any tarot deck. It's always going to be the Empress for me. More than the Sun. The Empress has just a knowingness, right? Because here's where you were. Not feeling confident or whatever. Here's where you are, or where you deserve to be. What Spirit is asking you to truly, truly embrace. I mean, look at the crown. You want to talk about stars, right? We saw the star and the lantern. And now she's wearing a crown of them. This is all of your wishes. This is all of your healing. All of the time and effort and toil and labor that you put into your own spiritual ascension. You wear it now like a crown. That's beautiful, right? And if you're not wearing it like a crown, you should be, right? Right? Change this crown into this one. Because as long as you feel like you're being shafted or things are not fair, maybe things aren't fair, right? I'm not saying that they're not. But if you continue to be in that mentality, in that vibration, in that energy, this is what you're going to, thank you, Spirit, this is what you're going to perpetuate as opposed to this crown, right? There's something about this. She's wearing a string of pearls. Is a string of pearls relevant to you? That I don't know. Maybe it's part of your Halloween costume. I have no idea. Spirit's not giving it to me, but they just want me to say string of pearls. Okay. So in the future energy, it's a beautiful Persephone, and it's the journey number 16, which is tower energy. So great surprise, great upheaval. The veil between worlds, and remember what I said, and you see this kind of nefarious whatever is going on here. You know what's interesting? Just told me, right? Because this is the door. When I talked about a door, didn't I? And I said, you got to be careful, because you open a door, you can come in and out, right? What Spirit just gave me was actually, this is the same person. This is the same person, the same spiritual entity that we have both shadow and light. And it depends on what state of mind you're in, which the world is going to see. Obviously, we want to come to some kind of reconciliation with our shadow. We want to look at it. We want to highlight it so that we can heal it as much as possible. But the human experience involves shadow. Sadness or anger or resentment, melancholy. But it's kind of a choice point, right? You can either choose to see the world as this cold landscape or walk through the door into this kind of lush meadow. She's looking at what appears to be an apple in her hand. And anytime we think of apple, well, we think of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, but we also think of Snow White and the 7 dwarves. She's kind of snow whitish, right? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? I mean, talking about the fact that I said people see you up-leveling, and then there's always going to be a detractor. Someone who's going to be jealous. Maybe they're jealous of your beauty, your handsomeness, your charisma, your magnetism. You know, maybe back in this energy, you thought you didn't have it, but you actually did. But it doesn't matter, right? Like, I'll give you an example because Spirit's giving, it's kind of a vulnerable example, but, you know, it is what it is. Spirit's giving it to me. It's just like, you know, as I've gotten older, my body has changed and my weight has changed. And, you know, I'm kind of trying to sit in a space of embracing it. And when I was younger and I didn't have as much gray hair and I was thinner and whatever, I just never thought I was attractive. And then looking back on myself, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is, and I look at myself and I think to myself, why did I ever think that? You know, do I look like a supermodel? No. But like, why did I ever tell myself those very negative, self-deprecating things. Like what on earth, you can't see what other people see, especially sometimes when it's in the positive, right? Like when they say you're so smart, you're so attractive, you're so wonderful, you're so loving, you're so giving, or whatever. Why is it so difficult for you to see that? Right? And so then I look back at those pictures, and then I look at myself now, and I don't look the same. But now I can tell myself, don't make that same mistake again. Don't say to yourself that you're ugly, or that you're not attractive, or that you're not good enough. Don't even do it. The minute that it comes in your head, just shut it up. That's devil energy. Just stop it. Right? Whatever other people think, that's their business. But you don't have to think that about yourself. Right? So there's something here. There's something to that Snow White. There's that Snow White analogy. I mean, I don't think Snow White ever thought she was hard to look at. If that's not it. But the evil queen, I don't know, I haven't seen Snow White in ages. The evil queen, I want to call her Mother Gothel, but that's tangled. The evil queen, was so jealous, just jealous. And here's Snow White, just like, I'm just a little person, just trying to do good in the world. Okay? So in your future energy, I just see this as, be careful, right? This is your Halloween reading. Be careful that you don't let that shadow side of who you are come through in a way that is to your detriment. You don't want to be in a space where you are talking down to yourself. Okay, and here comes that discipline again, 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles can talk about hard work, toil, labor, dedication, extreme focus on something. So this could be somebody in a workplace, or it could simply mean, we're talking about discipline. Here it is again, of you kind of, after having this spiritual awakening and recognizing that you may indeed have some beautiful Empress energy in you, now it's kind of like, okay, how do I use this power for good? And then being very, very focused and dedicated on, creating that abundance for yourself in that light. Like, newfound confidence in yourself. I mean, 10 years ago, if you ever asked me if I would ever start a YouTube channel, even a year ago, the answer was no. Who would want to watch? Are you crazy? Are you kidding? I can't do that. There's so many awesome tarot readers. Why? I could never do that. Even though everybody around me said, why not? My friends, my clients, right? So just using what it is that you have harnessed from the light energy and using it to your advantage. 2 of Wands in the reverse. There's no question anymore about which direction you want to move into, right? You've made a choice and you're sticking to it. That's so interesting. Damn, I should have said it too, because in this card is a miniature world, and the idea is that you have the world in your hands, but you want a bigger world, and then the world card flipped out in the reverse with the 3 of Pentacles. So the world card, I'm just going to cover that up. Well, the world card is a card of chapters beginning and ending, chapters closing out a chapter of your life. And so whenever I talk about the world card, I always say, if you had to look back onto the top 5 events of your life as being the ones that changed the trajectory of your life forever, could you name those top 5? I'm pretty sure you could. With celebrations, people passing, world events, health issues, victories of the birth of your child, your marriage, your divorce, whatever, like whatever they were for you, you know, the time that you had your spiritual awakening, whatever it is. There's something here that has yet to be closed out. You have not yet closed out a certain cycle in your life. You know, maybe because the door is still open to it. With the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, this is a card of collaboration and co-creation with spirit. And it's in reverse. And so I almost feel as though you don't know what to manifest next. Because maybe you have received a few things here and there, which is what's causing the jealousy or the envy. You have manifested things. And now that you've accomplished those things, it's almost like, well, what's next? You know, I accomplished this goal that I was so determined about, that I worked so hard for. And now that I've achieved it, you know, I'm looking to the next thing, the next endeavor. What is that next endeavor? I'm just curious. Okay, well, they're not telling me what it is, but what they are saying is that you're at odds with yourself. Five of Wands. The fives are always a kind of limbo card. And in this card, it's these young boys are training. They're dueling with each other. They're training for a fight, but it's kind of chaotic. There's no structure. There's structure here. Like, look at what a different energy it's like from boys to men, right? Like you know, you start off just not knowing what the heck you're doing. Let's say you're trying to start your business and you just have no idea how to go about it. Everything could seem a little jumbled. And then as you become better and better and more knowledgeable, then you present a united front. You present confidence and self-assuredness. So it's like you're in that cycle again, right? Where you're finding yourself just at a loss. And so it's almost like the thing that you have, the chapter that you have to close out is your hesitation, right? It's your trigger, because I feel like you've overcome a lot of insecurity. I feel that very strongly with the Empress card here, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't crop up every once in a while. So in your future energy, you may be faced with a situation where you're not at your best, or you don't have all the information, or you don't have all the expertise in something, and it could make you feel like you're a little vulnerable. Like, are people gonna see that or interpret that as weakness? And that's not what I see at all. But it's a mastery, right? Now I see that as doubt. Doubt. So just be mindful of that. That's in your future energy. And your advice from Spirit, you know, what's more appropriate than a vampire for Halloween? The word is vampire, and the word above it is hunger. And the Three of Swords. So that is somebody trying to overcompensate for something. Anyway, isn't it amazing how the Three of Swords here, you know, it's kind of echoed here. Look at this. So now I see these red points. There's no coincidence. There's a synchronicity here. Spirit's advice to you is, one, to maintain that discipline that you have so beautifully conjured time and time again, right? This is past energy, this is future energy. You know how to pull yourself together, buckle down, and do what you need to do. You have that ability. But Spirit is kind of telling me, for your advice, don't lose yourself in the midst of the hunger to go after what it is that you desire. I'm gonna leave you with this. So I'm Buddhist, and in Buddhist tradition, I'm just paraphrasing, but one of the main tenets of Buddhism is that desire is suffering. Right? It's hard not to desire in a world, in a society of materialism. It's very difficult. Desire, even to desire peace, it's difficult because anytime we desire something and we don't get it, disappointment, anger, sadness, all of these emotions set in. When we do get our desire, it's this euphoria that's temporary. And Spirit is really wanting to bring that in this Halloween when the veil is thin. Be sure that you temper your desires, that you keep yourself in check, that you have enough discipline to know when you are leading yourself astray. It's very important at this time. So collective, that's your Halloween reading. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. This was a long one, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a very, very safe Halloween.